Pretty privilege is real. It is. I said the shit. It's real. I have seen people gravitate towards me, and then all of a sudden, like, compliment me on my eyes, my skin color, my hair, whatever.
That's giving
right?
colorism.
So it's real. It's a break.
So I'm not going to deny that pretty privilege does exist, but I just think that it's the wrong messenger.
This woman is being dragged for talking about having pretty privilege. So people are like, it's not that you're ugly. You're not ugly, but you're not pretty like that. And people are like, you're old, because she said she's 50 years old, and she's saying that she gets a lot of people tell her that she has a good skin tone, she has good hair, good eyes, and all of that. People are like, that is not pretty privilege, that is colorism. So, but she's saying in a sense that, yeah, some people are jealous of our pretty privilege. Some people see it in a negative way and make it look like, oh, she's not that pretty. Or if she's talking to a man, they're always very jealous of her. If a man is talking to her and doesn't talk to another group of women around her, they hate her because she's having that pretty privilege. You guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section while we watch this video together, and I'll see you at the end of the video.
Pretty privilege is real. It is. I said the shit. It's real. I have seen people gravitate towards me, and then all of a sudden, like, compliment me on my eyes, my skin color, my hair, whatever. Right? So it's real. People do actually, I guess, treat me differently because of it. Now, because of it, the different treatment is not always good. Okay? Sometimes the treatment is negative and it's bad. So because of the color of my skin, because of the color of my eyes, because of my hair texture, I get hated on. So I'm gonna need you people who hate on people who are pretty to at least take into consideration that we getting it out here. Like, we already getting it. We don't need it from you as well. Like, for real. Like, give us a break. I mean, be mad at moms and dad. Huh? We didn't do it. We didn't ask to be put here to look like this, okay? Whatever we was mixed up with, it's here, and we didn't have anything to do with it. So I was in a public spot a few weeks ago, and there was a gentleman who was talking to me more than he was talking to the other ladies in the room. And ever since then, those ladies have been treating me like shit. And it wasn't my fault. He was just talking to me. I mean, probably because I was confident enough to speak back to him. I don't know. But they was hating. And they've been treating me like shit ever since. So y'all, be kind. Be kind to us pretty girls. We out here scratching.
I hate to say this, and I don't mean to sound rude, but is this you? Okay. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling here to see where the pretty privilege is. And so here's the thing. When pretty privilege is centered around the male gaze, that's when you become a pick-me. Hound you. She's a 50-year-old woman. Hard 50. Work on you, ma'am. Starts right here.
When people don't want to acknowledge the root problem, their brain does this thing where they start to have delusions of grandeur and they start to deflect because they don't want to acknowledge the real problem in their mind. And even in the day-to-day, I've been friends with so many women who say, all my friends cut me off because they're jealous of me. And I can attest, those women were always insufferable to be around. You're a bad person. You have a poor character. People don't separate themselves from you because you're just so gorgeous and nobody can stand to be around you without being envious of you. You have a poor character. You're a bad person. You're non-considerate of other people. That's why you don't have friends. But when people don't want to acknowledge the core issues in their life, they will always make it about something else to make themselves feel better about themselves. People who don't want to do the self-work to actually acknowledge, why am I the common denominator? They will always make it about something that will make themselves feel better about themselves.
All I'm saying is you got to be very, very certain that you're gorgeous if you're going to get on here complaining about pretty privilege. That's all I'm saying. You need to be very certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, to the masses that you are considered gorgeous before you get on here complaining about the real woes of being pretty. Nobody wants to talk about pretty punishment. I too have gotten called a bitch. And it's because they hate on me. They want to be me. They want to look like me. You bitches don't understand what it's like walking around with this face. Ah, the woes of just being a fucking goddess. Ugh. Yeah, you best bet it's a check you can cash, baby. Because I tell you, I'll be damned if I get humble like that in my own comment section.
Pretty privileged lady, her mama's white. I'm pretty sure her mama has to be white. They're literally trying to explain to her that she was not explaining pretty. She was explaining colorism. And she's like, I get colorism too. I'm biracial. Her mom is white. Nothing wrong with having confidence and feeling good about yourself. But when you start dragging other people or claiming other people are hating, when that's probably not even the case, that's when you cross the line. I have a lot of confidence, but you're not going to catch me claiming that people are hating on me. You're not going to catch me dragging other people because I think that I'm better than them in some way. Everybody's pretty to somebody. But when you fix your mouth to come on the internet and claim you are the prettiest of the prettiest because you're light skinned and you have light eyes, prepare for what you're about to get from the internet. They're trying to explain to her what she was explaining, and she's not going to get it. And she seems older, so she's one of those. But I'm pretty sure her mama is white.
What that lady that says she has pretty privilege fails to realize is that people are not upset at her because she's pretty. People are upset because you're ignorant to colorism. People liking you and complimenting you because of your light skin and your light eyes is not pretty privilege. You're talking about something completely different, and you honestly told on yourself, so you should have just kept quiet. Being a fetish because you're light skinned and have green eyes should not even be something that you want to brag about. I would hate to have everybody fetishize me simply for my features. So why would then everybody be upset that you're speaking about your fetish? No one wants to be you. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you, girl. Girl to girl, you need to address the deeper ingrained beliefs that you have going on in your mind. And it's not regarding pretty privilege. It's diving deeper into the meaning of colorism and what it is to be a fetish. I'm not going to say she's ugly, and I'm not going to say she looks old. Two things can be true at once. She can be pretty and ignorant, and she can look old, but I'm not saying that.
Pretty privilege is real. It is. I said the shit. It's real. I have seen people gravitate towards me and then all of a sudden like compliment me on my eyes, my skin color, my hair, whatever.
That's giving
right?
color.
So it's real. People do actually, I guess treat me differently because of it. Now, because of it, the different treatment is not always good. Okay? Sometimes the treatment is negative and it's bad. So because of the color of my skin, because of the color of my eyes, because of my hair texture, I get hated on. So I'm going to need you people who hate on people who are pretty to at least take into consideration that we getting it out here. Like, we already getting it. We don't need it from you as well. Like, for real. Like, give us a break.
So I'm not going to deny that pretty privilege does exist, but I just think that it's the wrong messenger. And I feel like she's more so talking about colorism. Like, just because you light skin with light eyes does not mean that you are just automatically pretty, but a lot of people do think that. And this lady is 50 years old. She said that she was 50 because people was asking her, how old are you in the comments? She looks way older than... Lord Jesus, forgive me. I'm not trying to be funny, but she looks way older than 50. So I guess her light skin pretty privilege is not necessarily aging the best. And a lot of people are roasting that ass in the comments. Like, why would you get up here and get... Then she went on to say how her co-workers got jealous because some guys was talking to her and not talking to them. And it's like, when do we get over colorism? When it gets to a point, ma'am, you come from an era where it really did matter, like the 80s and the 70s, or how when the 80s, because she's set 50. I feel like she older than 50. That lady. But anyway, in 2025, nobody really gives as much anymore. People care more about youth than they do light skin and colored eyes. They care more about how youthful you present. And Miss Ma'am, you ain't got it like that no more. She did another video saying, oh, well, I experience that every day. People tell me I'm pretty all the time. I'm sure they do. Nobody's calling this woman ugly. But I just feel like, why would she choose this to be a topic of discussion? Like, you still harping on being light-skinned with pretty eyes and everybody just being jealous of you at your big age. Looking way older. I would give her a good 65 years old if you ask me. What y'all think? Pretty privilege does exist. I'm not gonna say it doesn't. I experienced that too. But I don't know why she's spread love is the Brooklyn way.
Pretty privilege is real. It is. I said the shit. It's real. I have seen people gravitate towards me, and then all of a sudden like compliment me on my eyes, my skin color, my hair, whatever. Right? So it's real.
That woman got annihilated in the comment section on that video. And why do you think that is? She's a 50-year-old biracial woman, and she goes on in that video to say that she experiences pretty privilege all the time, that she gets compliments all the time on her facial features and her eyes and her complexion, her hair. And many of the comments were from women and black women who expressed that what she was describing is colorism, not pretty privilege. And some went on to say, honey, you're not pretty. And they called her old. I mean, the comments were brutal. But I think it opens up a whole nother conversation, and that is, what exactly is pretty privilege, and does it apply to older women? So by definition, pretty privilege refers to the social and economic advantages that people receive when they're just basically more attractive. And honestly, I think it's an unearned privilege, right? Like, people who are more attractive generally just get treated better out in society. You might get better job opportunities or promotional opportunities in the workplace if you're more attractive. And of course, you get more attention in the dating world the more attractive you are. I mean, that's just a fact. But now back to that video, right? So why did the women react that way when she said that she experiences pretty privilege? It's because for us women, as we age, our quote-unquote pretty privilege is diminished by ageism, or the fact that you can't receive those same benefits as you age because societal beauty standards are tied to youth. So as an older woman myself, I'm 61, would I walk around here really thinking that pretty privilege applies to me in the same way that it did when I was in my 20s and 30s? Hell no. Nor should it. I mean, look, it's just different, right? I think people treat older women with a little more respect if you carry yourself with this sense of elegance or vitality. If you come across as healthy and vibrant, then yes, you get a few more perks as you age. But just receiving compliments on your looks is not necessarily pretty privilege by definition. So maybe she just used the wrong term. But yeah, the comment section was brutal, y'all. All right, love you, bye.
So I'm pretty sure by now everybody has seen the pretty privilege video. If you haven't, that's a light-skinned lady talking about pretty privilege is real. Girl, we know. You ain't got to tell us. We really do know. But imagine getting on the internet and saying with your whole chest that you experience pretty privilege because people are always talking to you and telling you how pretty your eyes are, how pretty your skin is, how you're so pretty, blah, 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 only to get humiliated by the internet telling you to with your ugly ass because pretty privilege is not you. And then because your feelings are hurt, you make a follow-up video and say people are jealous and are hating. Baby, ain't nobody hating on you. Nobody is hating on a 50-year-old biracial woman that doesn't know the difference between colorism and pretty privilege. What you thought was pretty privilege was actually colorism, but because your skin is light, bright, damn near white, you automatically thought pretty privilege applied. It don't always apply, especially not in this case. And they say your mom is white, which makes sense why you don't know the difference between the two. And I hear you just recently lost 170 pounds. So, Bookie, at 50 years old, you're just now experiencing what you think is pretty privileged because now you're getting compliments. Now hate on that.
Me, and then all of a sudden like compliment me on my eyes, my skin color, my.
You know what? I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to talk about this as I am biracial and I also have light skin and light eyes. Girl, what you're describing is colorism. That's not pretty privilege. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say that you're ugly. You're not ugly. But you're acting like you're Eva Longoria. And babe, I hate to humble you, but you're not. You might have mid-face privilege, average light-skinned woman privilege, maybe. That's probably true. But hold your horses. And honestly, this right here is how I know your mom's white, because baby, I would never get on Beyonce's internet and say some shit like that with my full chest and then not double but triple down on it. Good God. Your estimation of being pretty is summed up by your proximity to whiteness, and you said it from your own mouth, which is, again, colorism. So let's be honest, okay? Let's keep it a buck, keep it 150. A dark-skinned woman would dog walk you in the street. Honey, do not get it twisted. And the idea that dark-skinned women are not beautiful was created by jealous-ass white women who saw African female slaves and saw their beauty and were afraid that they were going to take their husbands, as they should be, bitch. And I am and have been acutely aware of the fact that a portion of my claim to prettiness rests in racism, which is why the first leg that I stand on is never my skin tone, my eye color, or my hair texture. That's not me saying that these features can't be found to be pretty. Like, people can find that pretty about me, but if that's the only thing that you find pretty about me, if that's the summation of my beauty to you, I already know how you think, and honestly, I'd rather not, you know? But if you have to lean on the fact that you're light skinned and you have light eyes, then girl, where is the pretty? Where is the pretty? Because I can name off 10, 15 things about me that are pretty that ain't got nothing to do with my light skin or my light eyes. So I'm gonna need you to back it up a little bit, because that hubris, it's strangling you, and it's not too pretty.
When we talk about society pretty, or when we look at what society call pretty, she's not all that. She's fine, she's beautiful, but she's not all that pretty village that society see as pretty. She's not all that. And people are saying that she looks older than her age. I personally feel like she looks exactly like her age. She looks exactly 50. Although I have seen, just like one of the creator, she said she's 60, she looks way younger than her. Yeah. I've seen even 50 years old look way younger than her, but I feel like she looks exactly like her age. So I don't see her looking way older than her age anyway. So I personally don't think she's ugly. She's not ugly. She's pretty, but I don't think she has that pretty privilege. I also agree with her that she actually referring to colorism. Yes, if you're light skin and you have a kind of eyes, in fact, the fact that you're light skin alone, people already see that you're fine. And it happens everywhere in the world. Because you're light skin, they don't want to even know how you look. They already see that you're fine. In fact, you see people comparing a light skinned person and a dark skinned person. They tell you, oh, if you're actually dark skin, you will not be this pretty. So it's not about you being light skinned or you being pretty. It's because of your light skin. That's why people feel like you're pretty. And I also get why she's being dragged, because I personally feel like pretty privilege comes with age, right? So if you're already going to around 50, 60, doesn't mean that you're not pretty again, or doesn't mean you're not still beautiful, doesn't mean you're not still old enough to that your beauty that you had in your 20s or in your 30s or your 40s. Doesn't mean you're not pretty like that. But then I feel like people look at you more with respect. Just like that creator was saying, yeah, I kind of agree with everything she said. People want to see you more like, oh, she looks very healthy, she looks very respected. You know, in fact, it's people that be telling you you are so pretty even while you're in your 50s, your 60s, people tell you you are still very pretty. Because I've actually seen grown women that I used to tell them, like, you're so pretty. At this your age, you're so pretty. Like, your skin is so fine. You know, I have to tell them, your skin is very fine. Your skin is healthy. Like, you look very healthy. Your eyes, you're so pretty. I can imagine how you look when you're in your 20s, you know. So I feel like the older women get, when it comes to society, pretty, da da da, it comes with age as well. So once women are already getting older, when this, oh, you're 50 or 60, I don't think you get that pretty privilege outside anymore. And yes, pretty privilege is a thing. If you're pretty, you're gonna get that privilege, of course, and it has to be everywhere, anywhere. It doesn't have to center around men. Just like she was saying, she said her co-workers are kind of jealous of her because she's around men. No, I don't think that's right. Because if you're having pretty privilege, it's not always centered around men. You can get even women, even like anything can give you that privilege because you're pretty, right? It doesn't always have to center around men. But if you're seeing your pretty privilege only centered around men, and you feel like people are hating and jealous of you just because you're always getting men attention, I feel like there's more to that anyway. Do you think she has that pretty privilege or is just colorism? Kindly share your thoughts down in the comment section respectfully as always. Sugar Mara Davis, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.